it shouldn't have been me to have the last word. But I'm sure someone more appropriate will have the last word to flag us off. I hope you have your passport, because the debate you have started, you may have to leave town. Because I'm inviting you to Gulu University for another book discussion. Then it has been launched. Then you are going to become that little boy who says, they say the emperor is dressed, but he's looking naked. And your mother said, no, he's not naked. But you have already said it. So, how do you deal with those obsessed with President Museveni? Because there are those who are willing to die for him. I saw the other day, the one who said, ready to die for Kano President. I'm sure there are many who are ready to die for Museveni. Even for Mao. So, when we launched the walk to work, what happened? You have listened to the song composed for me. Both in Uganda and actually, I'm probably the only one who has crossed this Nilotic Bantu barrier. And the only candidate who is the only candidate who is able to speak a Bantu language and Nilotic language. And I thought I would be the glue to bring back Uganda together. I'm giving you another chance in 2016 to take the opportunity. When you are slaughtering an animal and you reach that part called the liver is very tasty, but it has bile, like attached to it. As a veterinary doctor, the chancellor knows that once you puncture the bile, you forget about the liver. And that is where your warning is valid to us, the opposition, who want to remove the bile. Because in many cases, the bile has been punctured. Like Libya, like Egypt, like Congo. The bile of Mobutu has poisoned Congo. The bile of Gaddafi has poisoned. And maybe the surgeons should be women. I want to agree with my brother that the men, because they are so eager with their appetite to eat the liver, they are not careful enough to realize the danger that the bile poses. Now that we're in university, I'm speaking not as a DP president, but as someone who objectively looks at the situation. In South Africa, Mandela knew that the bile called appetite needed to be cut out carefully and put away, and even but he had the moral authority, because who else has spent 27 years without your wife, without your children? You are old, you have given your youth to the struggle. When he says, let's talk to these people listen. So I take your point, Professor, that the burden on us, the viewers, the power seekers, is very, very clear. Second, I also want to agree with the Honorable Margaret Secretary that the President should reply. But even if he doesn't reply, he has heard. There was once an animal that was having an argument with a rock, addressing the rock. Of course, the rock doesn't reply. So the animal said, even if you don't reply, you have heard. So I would like to console you. But if you can reply, don't write 900 words in the monitor. Sure, if he doesn't reply this, then I will not take him seriously. Because he has been replying all sorts of people. He even replies Mr. Russ, the cartoonist, complaining that Mr. Russ should make it that is his head that sharp. But obviously the president needs to realize that cartoons are supposed to exaggerate a particular feature. So if you have big lips, they make them excessive. If you have big eyes, they make them explosive. And I've also seen my French cat made very sharp occasionally, even though I don't So, the president has had. On the pitfalls of power politics, I think we get it wrong when we make an office our destination. When President Mandela was asked, when did you start dreaming of being president? He said, no. My goals have always been to dismantle apartheid and build democracy in South Africa. Being president was a byproduct of that struggle. I think a person of that attitude does not cling to power. That's why it was even easy. I may have to say a few good things about myself because none of you have said it. Like you, Professor, I retired from Parliament after 2 terms. Not that there's anybody in Kuru municipality who can defeat me. Even now, you have been seeing the debate in the newspapers. People are saying, if Ugandans are not yet ready for you, come back and continue being our voice in the August House. I stepped down. I went as chairman of the group. I stepped down because I said, you want to silence the guns in northern Uganda, return the IDPs. Having achieved that, what else am I doing in the office of the chairman? The longer a man stays in power, the more we begin to fear that he doesn't have an agenda. Because an agenda is supposed to be determined. It isn't determined with a beginning and an end. It is a project. Last time, the young man who challenged us and said, who bears the burden of peaceful change? The subtext is that we are putting too much burden in the hands of one man, the incumbent. I want to take responsibility. That's why in my statement I said, we are the ones who draw the line and say, this is where your term ends. I agree with you that many of our opposition politicians are making the healing process difficult. Professor Kagonyera knows my first term in Parliament. The speeches I used to make. You would think after leaving Parliament I'm going to get President Museveni by the throat and even find that my hands are not enough, just bite off his Adam's apple. But sooner or later, you listen to stories like for Jolly. If Jolly can stand and smile with President Museveni and smile with Kony after being beaten and raped and forced to do unspeakable things, who am I, Nobert Mao? I think we need to identify those who have genuine scars, not synthetic scars. Because it is not enough to face Omala and some tear gas and then you say you're a liberator. There are those who have really been through it. And most of them are dead anyway. The real heroes of Uganda are dead. Therefore, I'm not one of those who want to incite. But it is also my duty to warn. It is my duty to warn. Because you say there are people obsessed with President Museveni. You must warn about the worst alternative. Like the story of the monkey and the nut. In South Africa, among the potatoes, if they want to trap a monkey, they put a narrow pot and they put a nut in it. The monkey grabs the nut, then the hand becomes big because of the nut in the palm, so it cannot now get out of the pot. The only way for the monkey to escape the hunters with spears and clubs is to let go of the nut. Because as long as it insists on holding the nut, it is imprisoned to a worse fate. That is why sometimes we warn incumbents and say, you know, think about your children. I'm from the north, and my presidential candidate was to throw a challenge that I'm not responsible for whatever some of my tribes were did, whether in Luwero and what. I just say I'm Nobert Mao. Do I lose my ticket to State House just because of my tribe? If that's the Uganda you are telling me I live in, then I'd rather not be part of it. So these may sound like incitements, but they are also warnings. I believe, nevertheless, the biggest responsibility is with President Museveni. Because it is said, even if all the animals in the forest pass a resolution declaring that all of them should become vegetarians, if the lions don't agree, I don't see much happening in the jungle. The lions have to say, yes, we shall eat vegetables. So the people with the greatest stake in the incumbents have got to